You are tuned in to Roctowns' finest on 100.9 FM, WXIRLP in Rochester, New York.
Welcome back again. We are broadcasting live on WXIR 100.9 FM. What we do is we play a lot of local music. We play music straight from Rochester. We don't get an outlet like that on regular radio, so I feel that it's something to bring to people, and it seems to be working. A lot of people are getting attracted to it.
We have very serious topics that need to be addressed here in the city of Rochester.
What kind of businesses would you say would be most lucrative as far as someone who really doesn't have good credit, who really doesn't have a history of employment, and that's just coming out and saying, I want to start out on the right path and take this by its ear? What would you recommend?
First of all, the thing I recommend is figure out what that person is passionate about.
That's Roctowns finest. What's going on, Rochester?
Yes, y'all. You're now rocking with Huff, and right now we on Roctowns finest.
This is Shemon and Roctowns finest, chilling with my man Huff and Doc in the place to be.
You can find us at 100.9 FM.
Or online at www.1009wxir.com.
Hey y'all, it's Roctowns finest on your radio.
You are tuned in to Roctowns' finest on 100.9 FM, WXIRLP in Rochester, New York.
Kim used to be pretty dope. She's going through her little things, but she used to be pretty dope. My personal favorite though is hands down Rod Digger.
Rod Digger was raw.
First of all, her voice was almost mannish.
Mm-hmm. Masculinity.
Her voice was super deep for a girl. And then she just spit bars. It wasn't about her femininity so much. She didn't really use it as a tool. It would just kind of be a part of her rhyme naturally, you know what I mean? But otherwise it was just about her spitting.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Remy's the same.
Yeah, Remy
that raspy and I don't know if you ever heard her Underground?
Yeah. Remy's dope.
Bars.
Foxy Brown was off the hook though.
Foxy was dope.
Foxy,
But she killed it with the sexy too, but her lyrics was out of control.
Because she knew how to bring in that patois and make it sound dope. You know what I mean? She could blend the patois with the raps, and once she got, because when she first came out, it was almost like it was like her, Charlie Baltimore. Mm-hmm. It was like nothing really separated her too much.
Right, everybody was talking about the same stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But then when she started coming in with that, you know what I mean,
that
Jamaican and
Trinity,
you know what I mean? It was just it gave more of that punch, and man, it was
that's what we call now that swag.
That swag, yeah.
She definitely turned it up. She definitely turned it up.
Definitely.
Well, I got a hot female MC from The Rock. I want y'all to check out and tell me what y'all think about it.
Okay, let's hear it.
A lot of people know who she is already. You know what I'm saying? So those who don't, just check this out. This is your girl Golden. This song right here is called Consequences of Dopeness. Check it out.
Yes.
When you do like this, your voice fades away. Yeah.
What's up? We back at it again. And this one? It's called Consequences of Dopeness. The great ones suffer from it. Let's go. See, I've been on some low, regaining my focus. Thought it was depression, got a different diagnosis. Now I'm suffering from the consequences of dopeness. Since that's the only cure, my prescription is kinda potent. A strong regimen of this medicine, pouring out my soul on melodies, talking about who I'm better than and how I'm out here trying to get money like a settlement. Moving towards a good life so I can get settled in. All in a day's work, and make them say word. Out here eating like a motherfucker, got a tapeworm. No type like I'm Ray Sherm. Money's what I like, I ain't trusting anybody, I ain't taking no advice. I'm learning that it's crazy if you really live that life. If you really trying to make it, you gon' have to sacrifice. Gon' fake a couple smiles, but you gotta play it right. You can never lose your cool in an altered state of mind, huh?
Okay, what y'all think about Golden, fellas?
Yeah, that was dope, man. She reminds me of Jean Grey out of Brooklyn.
Yeah,
Jean Grey's like an underground rapper. She's like with Talib Kweli and Immortal Technique and those guys. She's really underground, but they got a very similar, maybe not cadence, but their voices are very similar. But Coleon's dope, man.
Yeah,
She's dope.
Yeah, she was. She was dope. She was dope.
Yeah, and I give it to her because a lot of females don't have a lot of skills like that. I mean, she was put some metaphors.
She kept me listening.
Right.
And I can listen to that again.
Right, and everything had a twist to it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you don't find that too much with females right now.
Yeah, the lyrical content was right where it needs to be as far as what most people would consider real hip hop. I mean, that was a good song.
Right.
Okay, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna get to this next track.
You are tuned in to Rocktowns Finest on 100.9 FM, WXIRLP in Rochester, New York.
Sometimes you look in the sky and you see the birds flying around so freely. You know you wish you could fly away also. Just remove yourself from all the negative things and people that's in this world today. I know I wish I could fly away every day. I miss my pops, hate a lot of things that's going on today. Wish I could fly away, baby. Yeah.
Can you vision the rain falling out the sky? It resembles the pain falling out your eyes. I realize the game, you gotta suffer. They love us and then they hate us, replaceable like the others. The mothers that's on your own, the ones keeping it strong. I hope God bless you for doing it on your own. Bring the food on the plate, no daddy in the home. Damn, I wish I could hear my daddy on the phone. Tell him how I love him for everything he did. Held the whole crib down, but down the spitter, we're getting big. He was proud of his kids, so we gon' hold you down. Tell my peoples overseas, put your hands on your crown. If I drown, it probably cause I didn't fly away. The moon seemed close, same time so far away. So if I fall today, dropping out the sky, it's cause one day everybody gotta die. Fly away and open up my wings to the sky. Wish I could look my daddy in the eyes. I'ma fly away, I'll probably never come back down. I probably might die on the ground. So I'ma fly away. I hate it when we argue and we fight. I wish that I could make it right. So I'ma fly away. So if you never see me again, probably out flying in the wind. Cause I'ma fly away. I always swore to be the same OG, representing for the hood, everything on me, ayy. Pop the bottles, let's celebrate. Pour some liquor for my pops at Heaven's Gate. Yeah, what you know about that? Started selling crack and you ain't know about that. Getting 4 or 5 stacks and that was all in one flip. Sold plenty birds and never did flip. Never was a snitch, took my actions like a man. Hated 96, they put my brothers in the can. I didn't understand, I was still a little jit. Till my bruh Jit made it all make sense. Love you, bruh. You held me down, so we gon' ride. Always knew I could make it, always seen it in my eyes. And my mama, baby girl, you know I love you to death. Gave me so much love, baby, oh you the best. Fly away and open up my wings to the sky. Wish I could look my daddy in the eyes. I'ma fly away, I'll probably never come back down. I probably might die on the ground. So I'ma fly away. I hate it when we argue and we fight. I wish that I could make it right. So I'ma fly away. So if you never see me again, probably out flying in the wind. Cause I'ma fly away. Show plenty love, rarely did I get it back. Open up plenty doors, plenty of them get stacks. Plenty of them is petty, buzzing like flies. Envy is the devil, you see the hate in the eyes. When I rise, I know I will, I know God got my back. Sometimes I fall off and then he put me on track. Thanks. Shout out the ladies, yeah, you show me plenty love. Even the ones who I never seen the love from. If you did, I never seen it. I probably at the time, I probably didn't wanna be it. It's all good, cause if it's meant to be, then I'ma see you soon. I'm still growing as a man, I used to be a goon with the spoon, so I need a little extra time. Old actions had you thinking different every time. You didn't know I really wanna put a ring on it. Dealing with my past, had it feeling like a dream. Fly away, open up my wings to the sky. Wish I could look my daddy in the eyes. I'ma fly away, I'll probably never come back down. I probably might die on the ground. So I'ma fly away. I hate it when we argue and we fight. I wish that I could make it right. So I'ma fly away. So if you never see me again, probably out flying in the wind. Cause I'ma fly away. Fly away, fly away, fly away. Cause I'ma fly away. Fly away, fly away, fly away. Cause I'ma fly away. Fly away, fly away, fly away. Cause I'ma fly away. If you never see me again, probably out flying in the wind. Cause I'ma
Yo, this is MDK. You listen to 100.9 WXIR. Go get my new single, Rock and Roll Thug, featuring Crazy Bone. You listen to Roctowns Finest. Shout out to Doc Williams.
You are tuned in to Rocktowns Finest on 100.9 FM, WXIRLP in Rochester, New York. You are tuned in to Rocktowns Finest on 100.9 FM, WXIRLP in Rochester, New York.
Roctowns Finest.
Back again.
We got a special guest tonight. We have Sandra YG Jones. What's going on?
Yes, sir. Glad to be here.
That's what's up. Now you just handed me this book, Apprehended.
Yeah.
Apprehended. Sandra is an author. She wrote this nice little book right here, and she's going to tell us all about it. You know.
So what it's called? What is it? Apprehended.
Apprehended. Yeah. Hashtag. That is important. The hashtag.
Hashtag.
Yeah, that makes it relevant.
Okay.
Hashtag Apprehended. Philippians 3:12, and it's a book that basically talks about, in this hour, a lot of people are looking for answers, and a lot of times, if we just be honest with ourselves, our traditional religious activity doesn't give us the relief that we need or the answers that we need.
Right.
And one of the things that we've been taught, I've been in church all my life. I was drugged to church all my life, but
they used to drag me too.
But at the end of the day, we were basically told that if you would chase God, you'd find Him. Didn't make sense once I read the Bible for myself that I needed to chase a God that has claimed to have apprehended me already. And so what this talks about is if we kind of just change our perspective, instead of chasing God and realize what He's already caught us to do, there are some things that we can now redirect all that energy to fulfilling our purpose. So I'm not spinning my wheels trying to chase this God that seems to be uncatchable or trying to be perfect because, all the things that they say we have to do in order to catch Him require some level of perfection. It's impossible to do.
Right.
So I spin my wheels doing that, or I can say, wait a minute. Philippians 3:12 says that He's already apprehended me. So if He's already caught me, what did He catch me for? And it begins to talk about dealing with the things that He's caught me to do.
Okay. So what inspired you to write? How long have you been writing?
Well, honestly, this is my first book. I actually did some publishing in academia for some coursework, but ultimately, I think it really it started with people asking me questions personally. And the type of questions that I was getting all the time was, well, how do I do this? Or how do I keep focused on this? We were talking a little bit ago about different topics that come up. One of the big things as a church, how do I live right? How do you do that? How do I live right? And I'm single and I'm supposed to refrain from all these different things. Or how do I stop drinking or stop doing this? And it's all these rudiments and rules that is placed on us that, we spend our time trying to do.
Right.
And in doing that, we miss becoming because we learn how to do that we miss becoming. So we know how to do all this stuff.
Right.
And we can get that down to a science. But then we're still empty inside. So you're not becoming the person that you're supposed to be, but you know how to do a whole lot of stuff.
Right.
So then you wake up one morning and you still kind of like, why am I doing all this? And I'm no longer fulfilled, but I'm doing everything they told us to do. So this focuses on the becoming and releases us from the requirement that a lot of religions put on us to do.
Okay.
I think you make a very good point because I'm personally, I'm a little more maybe not utilitarian but pragmatic in that if you ask me to do something, I kind of need to know why I'm doing it. You know what I mean? And I've always been that way ever since I was a little kid, and even to this day. If the reason I'm doing something doesn't make sense, then I'm probably not going to want to even be bothered with it.
Absolutely.
So I can see, that it gives you that light bulb that the reason for an activity or a practice. You understand the
fundamental, I guess, belief system behind it.
Absolutely. And not just that, when you think about like the example you just used, if you tell me that I need to do this and it can make sense to me that it's going to benefit me, it's going to benefit the person I'm doing it for, I have more of a desire to even want to research how it should be done. Versus, okay, let's take a common practice in church today, especially in Christendom, like tithing. Everybody says you're going to give 10% of your earnings. Well, I'm looking at, okay, 10% of somebody say that's a lot of money. But when you look at, am I really supposed to be tithing like this? Is this something that's practical? Am I supposed to still be doing this? Is this something that is antiquated? Is it an antiquated idea?
Right.
But you just tell them, if you don't do it, God's going to curse you. Well, didn't he send his son to die for the curse? So you're telling me on one hand he's alleviated the curse, but on the other hand I can actually revive the curse by not giving 10% of my... That sounds like a mob boss to me. So you give him 10%, he keeps the thieves off you.
That's extortion. That's racketeering.
A little bit, just a little bit.
That's not happened to me. I was coming out the store the other day, right? I'm coming out the store the other day, and this guy comes up and he's like, "How you doing, son?" I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" He's like, "Okay, young man, let me talk to you for a minute, right?"
No.
So I'm like, "Here we go, right?"
Yeah.
Here we go. He said, "You go to church?" I said, "I go once in a while." He said, "Well, you must not be planning on going to heaven." I'm like, "What is this? Is he serious?"
Wow.
See?
You what do you do for a living and going to all this? I said, "Listen, man, I didn't come here for this right now, so you go about your business, I go about mine."
Trying to get my chips, right.
I'm going to go to hell because I don't go to church every Sunday, you know?
And those are the things that I'm talking about. There's this mindset of, if you do the right things, you can make it in. But you don't have to be anything. You don't have to have anything right in your heart. You don't have to do right to your fellow man. You don't have to have compassion. You don't have to have any level of, if I do this for you, I'm not looking for reciprocity. I'm doing it out of kindness of my heart. Right. But think about what they say. Think about our churches we're not full of saints. You have the same type of stuff that happens in the world happens in the church. Right. Fornicators, adulterers, racketeers, extortion, all that happens in the household of faith. But what you're telling me that if I give my 10%, God looks over all that. Right. That's problematic. Right. So, but again, when you look at, am I supposed to give? And a lot of times you have people who just give out of the kindness of their hearts, their time, their talent, their treasure to people on the street. I give probably more to people on the street than your average person would, because I have compassion. I'm moved by that. Right. I don't want to see someone that's down and out. If I can help, I can help. If I can feed you, I can feed you. Mm-hmm. But again, you have people who will look at me, and I have a church in Georgia, and we do not tithe. And they look at us like we're just going to hell. Well, okay, well, the Bible doesn't say that, but it's the mindset that says if you don't do this, this is what will happen. What I'm teaching them, though, is the importance of giving out of themselves. And think about the way the mindset is, and we've set it up, is you tell me that I have to give 10% of my earnings. If I don't give 10%, I am cursed with the curse. Let's just look at it, though. Let's say somebody really can't give 10%. Let's say you and your wife are arguing day in and day out because she wants to give 10 and you're saying we can't give 10. So now I've caused division in your home over 10%. Right. When you're saying, baby, look, I looked at the finances, we're going to compromise. I looked at it, you want to give to your church, I'm going to support you. We can give 5. What the church tells you is, no, you're going to still be cursed. Now you went all above and beyond to try to do something. Now, so if I got to give 10, but I know I can give 5, but I'm still cursed, why would I give the 5? Right. Yeah. I mean, we just play this monopoly game with what I feel our faith is and what I feel our purpose in life is, and it goes so far beyond. You have people who will tell you straight out, if you can't give, you're not a member in good standing. Where is that in the scripture? Right. If you don't come every Sunday, where is that? It's not there. Right. And so then they take little pieces of it and try to make a whole theology out of it, and it's absurd. So my point in writing this book was to talk about how there are things that we do need to focus on, like how we need to be apprehended in our mind and our thought process, how we need to be apprehended in our heart and our giving and our speech, how we talk to one another. I believe death and life is in the power of the tongue. You can speak your way into a rut just like you can speak your way out of it. I don't ever say I'm broke. I may not have money in my pocket at this moment, but I never state I'm broke. That, to me, that creates something in the atmosphere, because that's the same pattern that God used when he created. So those types of things is what I speak about in this book, how to have an apprehended image. Image is opposed to identity. A lot of us have these images that we kind of put out there to people. So it's not about the car you drive, the house you live in, or how much money you make. It's about what you want people to think about you because of the car you drive, the house you live in. So being able to understand my image is something that I make, but that my identity is really who I am, and really learning how to merge the two so that I'm not one way here and something different there. And then finally dealing with apprehended finances and your purpose. I tell people all the time, if you can't get to a place where you understand how money works and how money should work for you, we're going to have trouble. So I think in church we need to talk about the stock market. I think in church we need to talk about investments and securities. We need to teach our kids that.
I'm really glad you brought that up, because I grew up in the Baptist. My mom my dad Zion.
Okay.
And they've been that way ever since. But you're right. There's very little. There's no groups. There's no sessions. There's no sermons about financial wherewithal. And in the Black community, that's so important. And to get it from one of your spiritual leaders, probably, it can't help but add value to the words that are being spoken. So it sounds like you have a very non-traditional way of going about your sermons.
Yeah, I would say so.
Does that? and
it's putting it lightly.
And my personal view is there's three primary causes for major strife. Politics, money, and religion. So how do you kind of navigate that? Because it's a personal topic and it's a sensitive topic for people. So how do you navigate that?
Well, again, I had to get to a place for myself, like I said, being raised in the church and hearing what things were said to me, and then just taking it upon myself to say, you know what, there are 66 books in this thing we call the Bible, and I've not read it. Let's start right there. That if I'm gonna have if I'm gonna think critically and have some type of critical thought, I need to at least know what I'm talking about. And I would ask questions as a kid too. They were not always welcomed.
Right.
But then just doing this study for myself, I did not go to theology school. I actually went to, I have a bachelor's in religious studies. So I studied it from that perspective. Started with a minor on top of everything else I was doing, and then it developed into a bachelor's degree along with sociology. So I've studied people, I've studied religions from all types. So being able to talk to people, I think one of the things for me was that religion sometimes is so exclusive. And I don't care if you call him Jesus, you call him, someone else call him Buddha, someone else calls him Muhammad. If we can all get together and talk about the core of what we're believing, we don't disagree.
Right.
So at the end of the day, let's just start there. Now, again, the type of message that I preach is not popular. It's not that slap your neighbor and give him a high five and tell him, neighbor, I'm coming out. It's not that. So it's not the thing that's going to tickle your ears. What I've found, though, the people that do attend my church are people who want life change. They want a sustained change. So it takes a lot more because you don't have the crowds. And that's easy to get. But to see us changing lives and the people that attend, as well as the community. I'm a firm believer that if you have a church in a location and the doors shut and the community don't even realize you're no longer there, what were you really doing?
Right.
So we do things in order that the community is impacted. So we go to the city council meetings and we hear what's going on, and we talk to the people in our community. I'm also the second chair of the Democratic Party in my area. So we're political.
By your area, you mean?
I live in South Georgia.
Okay.
We're political. We get involved. We don't just stand back and say, "Oh, let's just pray about it." Prayer should lead you to action. So
cool. Okay. Yes. Okay, that's Sandra Whitey Jones again. Check her book,
Hashtag apprehended. But we'll be back in a moment with more. We're going to get into a little music and we'll be right back with Sandra Wiley Jones.
Yeah, man, it's me now. Just listen to the guys, man. It's fade up, man. Listen to the lyrics, man. Double in my wife, man. Music, money, and it's Project Insight. Project Insight. Them dark days, they challenge me. Got angels and demons both trying to sway my mentality. Let's tell myself in the dark alley. And God showed me a way to make my dreams a reality. I tried fighting for good things, but the darkness kept sending they hit me straight after me. So I assembled the great team. When you hear my name, it's tragedy after tragedy. It's not good or bad or black and white. The lesser of two beings is have to fight. It's not what they have or what they might, but only realize can realize that if you fight for the wrong side, you won't survive whatever God has in sight. I had to read in between the lines, cause if I didn't, that could have cost me my life. I'm just fighting for myself, and for my brothers and sisters for better wealth, and for my grandmas and grandpas for better health, and for my mama and dad so they can smile upon themselves. I'm just fighting for myself, and for my brothers and sisters for better wealth, and for my grandmas and grandpas for better health, and for my mama and dad so they can smile upon themselves. Not a lot of people help me take the next step. I had to sit back and ride talking about, hey yo, what's next? That's why I'm gonna be different, why I be like all of the rest. Music, money, or fame, that bullet in my weapon. It's time for me to change the game, say it with my chest. It's time for me to come and claim the king of the rest. It's time for a new rule and your young fade up next. It's time for me to reign, I come dressed to impress. Now let me tell you why they all still hang around. Then why the watch and laugh and point at you while you wanna drown. I wanna see you succeed and make it out of the time. But when you get some common sense, they'll never be around. Now it's time to make a move. While you trapped in the corner of the dark room. Trust me, none of them know what you've been through, but every single one of them knows what they're gonna do. I'ma fight for myself, and for my brothers and sisters for better wealth, and for my grandmas and grandpas for better health, and for my mom and dad so they can smile upon themselves. I'm just fighting for myself, and for my brothers and sisters for better wealth, and for my grandmas and grandpas for better health, and for my mom and dad so they can smile upon themselves. Hey, man, don't touch that down, man. I don't do this, man. I just got ready to secret. Listen. Ready? My name is A.R.I.C. Wiliams, ain't no rappers been like me. I'm killing them like dirt stains on a white tee. I'm grilling them, that's probably why they won't fight me. I think I suffer from something called ADHD. No wonder why I seem like everybody hates me. But that don't stress it because the haters will shapes me. And ain't no words from anybody gon' break me. Cause I'm a B, the G, yo, the A-T. Take a look at my skin and try to discriminate me. My bone will start spinning, think that I'm going crazy. And I know the devil won't stop until someone takes me. But I'ma fight for myself, and for my brothers and sisters for better wealth, and for my grandmas and grandpas for better health, and for my mom and dad so they can smile upon themselves. I'm just fighting for myself, and for my brothers and sisters for better wealth, and for my grandmas and grandpas for better health, and for my mom and dad so they can smile upon themselves.
You are tuned in to Roctowns' finest on 100.9 FM, WXIRLP in Rochester, New York.
Back again, we are broadcasting live on WXIR 100.9 FM. What we do is we play a lot of local music. We play music straight from Rochester. We don't get an outlet like that on regular radio, so I feel that it's something to bring to people, and it seems to be working. A lot of people are getting attracted to it.
We have very serious topics that need to be addressed here in the city of Rochester.
What kind of businesses would you say would be most lucrative as far as someone who really doesn't have good credit, who really doesn't have a history of employment, and that's just coming out and saying, I want to start out on the right path and take this by its ear? What would you recommend?
First of all, the thing I recommend is figure out what that person is passionate about.
That's Roctowns finest is going on, Rochester.
Yes, y'all. You're now rocking with Huff, and right now we on Roctowns finest.
It's Shemon and Roctowns finest, chilling with my man Huff and Doc in the place to be.
You can find us at 100.9 FM.
Or online at www.1009wxir.com.
Hey y'all, it's Roctowns finest on your radio.